Nancy, can you arrange all of these materials instead of me today?
Lexi, where are you right now? You should be at your desk doing your own work right now.
Huh? Who do you think you are talking to me in that sort of a tone? Right now, I'm outside the office meeting with some people, so I'm asking you, who seems to be doing nothing else right now, to get that work done for me.
I don't have time to handle all of your work, though. I have a lot of tasks that I need to complete myself, as well as a lot of things that I need to memorize by the end of the day. I only just came back to the HQ after spending 15 years working at one of the regional offices.
Do not talk back to me. I could have you sent back to that regional office with the snap of my fingers, if that's what you want to happen.
There's no way someone like you would be able to do that to me.
Well then, that must mean you don't know a thing about me.
The only thing I know about you is that you have a lot of accomplishments when it comes to this department.
That's right. I'm the ace of this department, after all. And that's not all. My father happens to be the department manager of this department. So what do you think? Do you finally understand who I am? I could have trash like you thrown in the garbage out back with a single word to my father.
I can see that. But I only just came back to the headquarters, and I was really looking forward to enjoying my time here. So could you please not threaten me by sending me back out to that regional office?
Then you listen to what I have to say and do it. A 15-year regional office worker like yourself is not going to be my slave. And that's about the only use one could get out of an old hag like you. After one completes their training, they become a full-time employee here, right? That means I have to start working on getting you trained up before you can be let off the leash and allowed to roam this office building.
Anyhow,
before I get back inside, you better have those documents arranged for me, as well as have my desk completely cleaned. If perhaps you are not finished with all of that by the time I get back inside, then tomorrow you'll no longer have a position within the headquarters of this company.
Understood. I'll do what I can for you to the best of my abilities. When exactly will you be coming back inside?
We'll see. This business discussion I'm having with some of the other employees might be a long one, so I'm not sure yet.
It must be really difficult for you to always be taking so many trips outside the office, right?
Well, considering I'm the ace of the department, I have no choice.
Nancy, how were things for you today, being back at the company HQ after so many years? Have you gotten used to everything here again?
Hello, Lionel. Thank you for asking. I think it'll still take me more time to get used to how everything runs here now after 15 years have gone by.
Oh, is that right? Well, if there's ever anything you're worried about or having some difficulties with, please let me know, and I'll try to help you out. Having you back at the company HQ has really helped me relax a bit.
Thank you so much for letting me know that. Sorry if me asking you anything would seem selfish of me. I promise to do my best to tackle all of my problems before I have to ask you for help.
You don't have to be so diligent with your work right now here. You've done a lot for my company in the past, and that was all enough for me to appreciate you. So please, feel free to take things easy from now on and let me know when you need my help. Also, this doesn't just include you either.
Yes, I understand that.
How did your son end up faring out there?
Thank you for asking. Because of the much more quiet and clean countryside, he was able to feel a lot better and grow up nice and strong.
I knew there had to be something off about the city air that was causing him so much trouble.
That's right. The fact that I was having to take him to the hospital every other week due to him getting sick was really difficult on us all. But him being so much better now is still a little bit unbelievable for me.
Living in the countryside is a far better place for a child's health than here in the big city. I'm very happy we were able to make that all work out for you.
Thank you. Luckily, we were able to get me transferred out to that regional office in time.
When you first asked me about wanting to do that, I was shocked, but your reasoning for it was something that I could never say no to.
And thank you for helping me through all of that. That was the biggest help I've ever received before. Because of what you did for me, my once really sick boy who could never stay in school due to always being in the hospital is really close to graduating high school now.
Is that right? He's already at that age then?
What do you think my son told me when I asked him what he'd like to do after he graduates from college?
Hey, come on now. He's a much younger man than me, so I could never guess what a boy his age would want to be doing after college. I just hope that whatever his answer was, he's aiming for what he wants to do and not what others have told him to do. That's why I work so hard for the sake of all children, so they can live in a world where they can make their own choices and not be limited by everything around them.
That's a good point. I hope that I'm doing the same thing for my son as well. If things were to stay the same way they are now, that wouldn't be good, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, considering where I'm at right now in this department, there's something I'm a little bit worried about. So, if you wouldn't mind, actually, I'd like to tell you about it right now.
Nancy, are you available right now?
I'm sorry, I have a lot on my plate right now, so can we do this all later today?
No way, no way. You cannot be putting me on the back burner for anything else right now. I should be the most important than anything else in your life, and that includes your own work.
Excuse me?
Today, I had plans to go out and have a business meeting.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Do you think you could go to that meeting for me?
What? If you're wanting me to go to that for you, then why are you already out of the office right now? I thought you left your desk to go out and be at that meeting.
A little bit of a minor business popped up that I need to deal with.
No way. What do you think you're doing skipping out on a very important business meeting that you're supposed to be at today?
Shut your mouth right now. That company isn't that big of a deal to me anyway, so what does it matter if I'm there for the meeting? Also, I thought that something like a business meeting would be some good experience for you, so I'm letting you handle it now. Who do you think you are preaching to me like that? You thank me right now for what I'm doing.
But what you're doing is very rude to those customers.
Listen, Nancy, do you still not understand just how scary of a person I really am? You have no rights, since you're the slave to me, to be telling me your opinions on the matter. Do as I've said. If you do not, I'll have you transferred back to that regional office you were at before. Or better yet, I'll have you fired.
I don't care who you think you are. What you're saying is tyrannical.
Anybody I do not like, I have fired. That's one of this company's rules now. Now, you stop acting like a jerk and remember that rule very well.
Now you're just starting to speak a load of nonsense.
Did you know that my father is on his way to becoming the top of this company? Now that you're aware of that, you'd better shut your mouth and get your crap together. So stop talking to me like you matter at all, and do as I've said by going to that meeting. That is the only choice you have now. All of those people at the meeting are nothing more than my puppets anyway. So you go there as my slave and learn from the rest of them how to behave.
There's no way you can get away with acting like that.
Starting today, your training period is all finished with, and you are now being transferred to the sales department, right?
Yes, that's right. From here on out, I'm going to be putting in even more effort in order to make sure I don't let anyone down.
What heart you have. Then would you please go and grab my coffee? I am your manager, after all.
Wait, you're not my manager, or anyone's for that matter.
I am the department manager's daughter, which makes me like a manager myself. I shouldn't even have to say something like this for you to be able to understand that.
Understood?
Make sure to put some milk in it for me. And I want whole milk. None of that skim crap. I'm going to make sure everyone else knows that they can use you as their servant. I allow it.
Let me grab your coffee and bring it to you.
Hold it right there, actually. I'm going to get everyone else's orders right now for you.
Wait, but it doesn't seem like anyone else needs a coffee right now. Look, nobody is even standing up to ask for one.
Are none of you going to listen to what I'm saying? You go and ask them all right now what kind of coffee they want.
Stop that right now. I can see everyone is getting upset right now with how much you're yelling at all of them.
Shut your gosh darn dang mouth right now. If you don't all listen to what I'm saying right now, I'm going to make things worse for everyone in this department.
Unless things will only be made worse for yourself if you try anything.
Huh? What the heck was that? Are you screwed in the head or something now?
Not at all. I'm just being realistic. I can see by the way you're still acting that you have no idea how to control what kind of terrible words come out of your mouth.
Terrible words? What the?
I'll have you know that after I finished up with my training, I was placed in this department working with you.
I already know about that.
And now my official post in this department, or rather in this company, is the general manager.
The general manager? When you say the general manager, you mean the man that stands above all the other managers in the company?
That's right.
What kind of a lie is that? If you're trying to trick me, how about you start with a more concrete lie? The fact that you thought I'd believe you just then goes to show just how crazy one becomes with age.
I'm not sure everyone goes crazy with age, but what I've just told you is the truth, so you better start believing in it. Have a look at your emails right now and check. I'm sure that'll help you grasp what I'm saying.
Then I guess I will take a look at my emails.
Please and thank you.
What? Is this serious?
Thank you so much for doing as you were told and looking at your emails. As your new general manager, I'm going to try and do everything I can to support you. So please reciprocate that kind of support with me.
You're higher up than my own father?
And that seems to be the case now. And that means from now on, you better start calling me Mrs. Nancy, as that is a more fitting way to speak to your general manager.
No way.
Now, with me having become the general manager of the HQ, I think I'm going to have to start working on going through each department and seeing what things need to be improved. Starting with this one, the sales department. And from what I've seen so far, you of all people with your very rude behavior and horrible treatment of coworkers will need to be dealt with. Because of your actions thus far, I feel that the whole sales department is performing way below my standards, and that is not a good thing. So, as a way of showing you just how serious I am, I'm going to have you demoted so that the rest of this department can get back to work after having a fresh breath of air again.
Why are you going to demote me? I'm the ace of this sales department.
And I believe you being this so-called ace also needs to be looked at into a bit more thoroughly.
Stop screwing around with me. You're only doing all of this to me because you hate me, right?
As the general manager, I will not let my own emotions get in the way of the decisions I make. This is for the sake of the whole entire sales department and this whole entire company.
I will not allow you to do this to me.
But this is what the general manager has decided to do. So for some simple worker like you to say that you won't allow it means that you are openly welcome to being fired from your job, right?
I think that you even becoming the general manager was a major mistake, and you should not be in that position at all.
But me being made the general manager was a choice our higher-ups made.
Then I'm going to have a word with all of them, and I'll have HR remove you from that position.
That's impossible. Not even your father would be able to do such a thing to me.
I know that. Listen to this. I happen to be on good terms with the CEO of this company, which means that whatever I say to him, he'll be more than happy to listen. And that means he'll take you out of that position and put an ace like me in it.
Oh, is that so? Then please, by all means, give it your best shot.
You're going to regret ever trying to take me down today. Mr. Lionel, I think you've made a massive mistake putting someone like Nancy in the position of being the general manager.
Ooh, what's this all about? Not even a hello or a how are you doing first?
I'm sorry. It's just that I cannot agree with that has been decided by the HR department.
Well, I'm sure something like that has really shocked you now, hasn't it? But it is true that she's been made the general manager of your department, as well as plenty of other departments in this office building. And now would you please be a good employee and go work together with her from now on?
But I'm saying that the choice HR made isn't okay.
And why are you saying that? Because I like to think someone as hardworking and knowledgeable as her is fit for that position. Back when she'd first started out working for this company, in this same building, as a matter of fact, years ago, she was one of the top employees here. And it wouldn't be crazy for me to say that she played a very major part in making this company what it is today.
You're lying right now.
And what makes you think that I'm lying right now?
Tell me, why would someone so important to this company be forced to go work out in the middle of nowhere at some small regional office for 15 years? This is all insane.
I see. So you don't seem to understand the kind of structure this company has when comparing our office to any other office.
What?
Well, so be it. You probably don't understand why she was working out there in the first place either. Nor do you have a reason to know about why.
There was a reason besides her just being a useless employee?
That's not a reason at all for why she went there. She has a son, and that son of hers used to have a very weak immune system. She was having to take her son to the hospital at least once a week, and that was a very tough thing for her to have to deal with. But even with all those visits to the hospital and to doctors, nothing ever got better for her boy. So as a kind of last resort, she decided that she needed to get her sick son away from the big city and out to the countryside where he could breathe clean air.
So that led her to going to that regional office?
That's exactly right. For the sake of her son, she came to me and asked for my help in getting herself transferred there so that she wouldn't have to worry anymore about his health. At that time, I was not yet the CEO and was just one of her bosses, but I made sure to do everything I could to talk with everyone above me about getting her transferred. We were actually already in the talks of having her made a manager at the time, which made the decision of helping her to get transferred all the more difficult for me.
What?
She was bound to become a manager here from the start, but she chose her family over her job, and we had to respect that. So in the end, I was helping her get away from the big city by talking with the CEO at that time.
Something like that actually happened?
And as for right now, although she'd been away from headquarters for 15 years, she was still the same hardworking, responsible woman I knew her to be. And that's why she was made the general manager. The only reason she came back here in the first place, by the way, was because her son started to get a lot better during those 15 years and is close to graduating from high school now. So not only is she the general manager here now, but soon she's going to say goodbye to her son as he goes off to college, and she can put all her focus into her work. So what do you think, Lexi? Do you have any ridiculous complaints to make about this story?
No. I don't.
Also, when you were just talking about how her being from one of this company's regional offices makes her useless, I very much beg to differ. The regional offices are not in any shape or form a worse place to work than here. They all play major parts in the managing of this company and make sure that all of our customers are managed carefully and with respect. So I would like for you to get rid of that elite thinking you have there and respect all aspects of this company for me.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Now, you get back to work. I am a very busy man right now and need to get back to work myself.
So, for some reason, it really does seem that you're the general manager now.
Did you have a nice chat with the CEO? Glad to hear that. You really had me worked up there for a second.
But now that I've chatted with him, I know a few more things.
Oh, and what could that be?
As long as I continue to put in the work I have been, I'll become a general manager like you soon, right? Now I have a real reason to be working here.
That's right. This company takes into account all the work that their employees put in and judge them fairly based off that.
What a great company this is.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Sure, you may be feeling good about things right now, but just know you are not in a very secure position.
Oh, and why do you think that?
Because I'm going to steal that position from you right away. I'm the ace of the sales department after all, and unlike you, I've been putting in all my effort at the HQ of this company. I might even become the general manager by next year.
I don't see how me having worked at a regional office and you having worked here all this time makes a difference, though. Now, what I'd like to talk about is why you think you can still consider yourself the ace of the sales department.
Huh? Are you trying to piss me off now? Do you have any idea how amazing all of my accomplishments in this department have been?
I understand that there have been a lot of achievements attained by this department.
Then what the heck are you talking about?
I'm talking about how it's unlikely that you're the one responsible for all of the accomplishments in this department.
What do you mean by that?
To be open with you, as the general manager now, I've been having a look through the history of the sales department and everything it's done. And after a couple of hours, I've realized that you've been taking all of the work your coworkers have been doing in that department and taking credit for it all.
What the hell? I would never do something like that. Stop saying things like that about me right now.
No matter what you have to say about this, it's no use. I've been investigating things further, and I've been talking with a lot of other employees in the sales department. And a lot of them got together and confessed to me all of the unacceptable things you've been doing here.
Those are all lies they're telling you. They're just trying to knock me down from the top because they don't like me being the ace.
That's not true at all. I've been talking with them through all of the events. You steal all of the easy work from them and give them all of the work you find to be too difficult for you or a pain in the butt to complete.
That's wrong. I have not been doing any of that.
You really think I'm going to trust what you're saying to me now? Even I fell victim to that when you would force me to manage all of those documents for you, as well as clean up your workspace, right? Are you going to tell me that I misunderstood all of that as well?
That was all. That was me giving you experience doing different things.
Then what were all those threats about having me fired if I didn't complete everything for you on time? What a joke.
Sorry, I misspoke then, but I was never trying to force you to do all those things.
I'm not going to trust whatever you say anymore. Another thing, in this company, employees are paid for the work they do. So when you take credit for all of those other people's works, you were also taking the money they were owed for it.
Is that right?
Yes. So you're going to have to pay the company back however much you owe those other coworkers of yours.
Why do I have to do something like that now?
Because that money is only meant for the people that actually put in the work to complete those projects and is not meant for anyone else. Which means that later on, you'll be getting a few documents describing to you how much you owe the company back. Make sure you read all of those amounts carefully for me, please.
Do you seriously think you can go ahead and do something like that to me?
Of course I do.
All you are is a simple general manager, and the only ones that are able to do anything like get money from one of the employees and investigate them is the HR department.
That's right.
And that's too bad for you, because my father happens to be really good friends with everyone in that department. So when I go and have a word with him about what you're doing to me, he'll go and tell them to stop you and have all those documents thrown out.
Sure, I can see your father doing something like that.
My father will do anything for me to make sure that I move up in this company. Which means that after this, he's going to have you kicked out of that position, and then he can become the general manager, and I can take his position.
Oh, so you're going to let your father become the general manager instead of you?
I will. Him getting that position is a lot more realistic, and can happen much sooner. And then, I'll make you regret all of this BS you've been trying to shove on me.
I'm very sorry, but that's never going to happen.
What? So you're not going to surrender right now to me? We'll keep on trying to fight us then. Just know that it will be for nothing.
No, I'm not talking about trying to fight you guys.
Then what are you talking about?
Now that I think about it, you often leave the office to go out to meetings and such, right?
Yes. I work for sales after all, so it's a part of my job, right?
I found that very odd of you, though. You would always be forcing others to do all of your work for you, yet you still wanted to take the time to go out to those meetings?
What now? I happen to actually be working seriously over here, and that's why I'm seen as the ace of this department.
You've been working seriously? Then what's all of this about?
What is this picture?
This is a picture that someone I assume to be your friend posted on Instagram. A picture of them having a really fun time at an amusement park, right? And inside that picture, there's also you standing behind them. I took a look at when this was posted, and it just so happens they posted the picture during the middle of the day, on a work day. After looking a bit further into that time of day, I found that that's normally when you're out of the office at those so-called business meetings of yours, right?
That was taken on one of my days off, and she probably just posted the photo during the week when I was working.
I see. So that's what's happened here. But how come there are plenty of other photos on her account of you going out with her during the week? Are all of those pictures she took during your days off and just decided to post while you should be at work?
What? That's right.
I see. You really have some unique friends then, don't you?
What the hell, man? I can have whatever friends I want.
Of course you can, but something about all of this seems to be a bit off is all.
What's this?
This is you with your father having a fun time walking through a resort town. Seeing a father and his daughter getting along so well is such a wonderful sight. But this time it also comes with a very massive problem. This was taken at the time you were supposed to be away on a business trip, and your father so happened to use paid time off to go on this trip with you.
No, this is...
I don't recall you having to go to this resort town for a business trip, Lexi. What is going on here?
Sometimes I will go and meet with my father.
In a resort town? Tell me, why, when you were supposed to be away on a business trip, nowhere close to a tropical resort town, were you able to meet with your father there?
I don't know why.
All right, then. Well, thank goodness this time you didn't have a terrible excuse for it. What I know for sure now is that you lied about going on that business trip and used the company payroll to go on a vacation with your father. And your father, being the department manager that he is, knew it was happening. Perhaps this was planned out by your father in the first place.
How do you have a picture like this?
Because you both have been under investigation for a very long time now. Always having to leave work for business meetings and business trips. But all of your achievements only came from stealing other people's work. Plenty of people started to realize things were off about you and your father, even before I came back here.
Crap!
Your father has already confessed to everything we've shown him. That is why now, both you and your father are being fired. That's why I was saying it would be impossible for either one of you to become the general manager.
No way! I'm being fired! Can't something else be done about this?
This is what you both get. Tomorrow, you will no longer have any position within this company, and the same thing goes for your father.
Those two finally confessed to everything they'd done.
I see, that took a long time, didn't it?
Well, it took a lot of time for sure, but we had loads of evidence to show, and after they both had a look at everything, they opened up. Still, though, I can't believe they did all those things knowing how easily they could lose their jobs over them. Thank goodness you came back here and were able to take care of them for me before things could get any worse. Although I was hoping that you, being the general manager, would have been the warning they needed.
Good point. And I wish they would have realized how close to the edge they were walking as well. Now, Lionel, about my son. The answer he gave me was that he wants to work for this company after he graduates from college.
Oh, now that's something that really warms my heart to hear.
He said that he wants to show his appreciation for the company that helped him out when he was younger. And that is why before he enters this company in a few years, I have to make sure that all of the toxic and nasty employees in this company are taken care of.
I see. So before your son gets here, you want to make this place have a much more productive and safe environment.
Also, I want this to become a company he can be proud to work for.
Sure, and that's something I totally agree with.
Which is why from here on out, I'm going to be rooting through each and every department, making all of them the kind of place I'd want my son to work. The very next day, both Lexi and her father tried coming back to the office, pleading that they both wanted one more chance to show that they really did care about their jobs there. However, the lady at the front desk would not allow them in and said that if they did not leave the front lobby soon, she would have security called on them and have them both walked out. But neither of them heeded her warnings, and as they stood there banging on her desk, as well as kicking the door to try and get inside the offices, 3 security guys came in from the front entrance and told them to get out. Lexi's father knew there was no point in trying to fight them and walked out with one of the guards. However, Lexi was a different story entirely. At first, she fought with them using her bag as a sort of weapon and shield. However, that soon turned into her being grabbed by one of the guards and the other putting handcuffs on her. And just as they were going to start walking her out, she broke free from their hold and ran out the door, still handcuffed, and towards a few of her co-workers who were out having a smoke break. But just before she could make it to them and start begging for their help, a 4th guard decked her from the side, knocking her out for a full minute and putting an end to her rampage for good. Her father would end up taking her to the hospital due to some damage being taken to her head, and there she was told she suffered a decent concussion. After having been fired and told not to ever come near the company's HQ ever again, Lexi tried her best to find another job working somewhere else. However, not many companies in the city were willing to even give her an interview. The story of why she was fired, as well as what happened the day after being fired, has spread all over the city, and not a single company owner wanted to hire her. And the same situation can be assumed for her father as well, so they were both stuck being unemployed members of the society for a little bit. And not too long after that, their household finances went straight down the drain and has not recovered since. But things were only made worse when mail came to their door with the documents stating the amount of money Lexi had to owe the company after misusing both payroll and having taken the money for other people's work. She was able to borrow some money in order to pay the company back, but that forced her into some seriously muddy water, now having debt with a loan shark. Because of that, Lexi's father went out and found himself a part-time job working for a car wash to try and help her pay that loan shark off as soon as possible, while also paying the bills. However, Lexi complained and complained to her mother and father about how she could never sink so low as to work part-time, and that led to her parents kicking her out of the house. I heard that she sat out front of their house for some time crying and screaming that they were the worst, and that they should not be able to abandon their own daughter like that. However, neither one of her parents listened to her screams, and nobody else in the neighborhood wanted to hear it, leading to them all calling the police on her. This then led to her running off with whatever things she could take, and by the time the police showed up to see what was going on, Lexi was long gone. And guess what happened to her soon after that? She started to work in the city's red light district, doing things that women like me care not to explain. She was also able to find herself an apartment out there, although it was said to be very run down and out of shape for most people to actually want to live in. However, for her, it was her only option besides becoming homeless and never having a chance at doing the kind of work she was in then. But only after a month after hearing about all of that, I heard she was fired from working there, as her rotten character was something no man wanted a part of, not even those that liked to be dominated. After that, she started looking for work anywhere she could find it, but a terrible cycle of being hired and then fired started for her. And in the end, she had to go to the one place she never wanted to, and that's working part-time at a car wash with her father, who no longer wants any part of her. But the both of them, being in some pretty steep debt, knew that it would be easier to pay off if they all worked together. And so, just like that, Lexi's father let her back into their home under one condition, and that was that she worked at least 80 hours a week. Right now, that family is having to fight to stay alive by taking on more and more part-time work. And that's left me feeling a little bit bad for the wife of such a hopeless family. Thankfully, my situation has been a lot better, and I mean a lot better than the situation Lexi and her father ended up in, as I'm now working my butt off cleaning up this company inside and out. And with the help of my CEO and all of those who really appreciate me getting rid of toxic people like Lexi and her father, all of the departments here will be reorganized and cleaned up before my son gets here in 4 years. I really do hope that when that time comes, I will have left quite the mark on the company and will be able to take things easier letting my son do all the more difficult tasks instead of me. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.